this video, I want to talk about the history of abortion law in Canada. So the day that I'm filming this, abortion in Canada is legal, although access does remain a major issue. But I want to talk about the history and the law, how we came to be here, and where abortion actually fits in within our legal system. So a few decades ago, abortion was actually against the law, and this was spelled out in the Criminal Code of Canada. So it was a criminal act for a doctor to help a woman terminate a pregnancy, or for a person to terminate a pregnancy on their own. They could go to jail for that. And in the 60s, that began to change. There was this creation of what was called a Therapeutic Abortion Committee. And what that meant is a special committee could grant permission, could grant a person the right to have an abortion if their health or life was at risk. But these committees were not that widely available. They had to be, they only could exist in hospitals or institutions that had a special accreditation. They had to have 3 people, and whoever was on the committee could not perform the abortion. So the facilities that had these committees needed to have enough doctors to manage that. And they had major problems, particularly around delay. So by the time a person recognized they wanted to end a pregnancy, and there's many, many reasons for that, if they wanted to go before the committee, they would experience delays. And that became a major problem because there was the psychological suffering of not knowing whether they would even be granted permission, but also there's different ways to terminate a pregnancy, and the earlier, the better from a health and safety perspective. Later, there's greater risk to the pregnant person. And so this became a big problem, and what ended up happening is there were some physicians that decided this is unacceptable, and they decided to perform abortions outside of this therapeutic abortion committee model. And those physicians became the plaintiffs, or rather the defendants in a criminal lawsuit. So Dr. Morgentaler is the name most people know. There were a few other physicians involved as well. They performed abortions, they were criminally charged, and there were criminal proceedings that went all the way up to the Supreme Court of Canada. And so this was an opportunity for the court to take a look at the criminal law and the impact on people who needed abortions. And what they decided was that the ban on abortions was actually a violation of women's rights under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, specifically Section 7. And so they talked about the psychological suffering, and specifically the language of security of the person is one of the pieces under life, liberty, and security of the person, one of those pieces under Section 7 of the Charter. This is a huge violation of women's rights. And part of that had to do with this delay, and that by only being able to access abortion at a later stage, women had to deliver a fetus versus a much simpler and safer termination. So they really focused on the psychological impact, and they also had some really powerful language in terms of state interference, and said something to the effect of the state doesn't have to like it, but they have to allow it. So where does that leave us? Abortion in Canada is legal. However, this is through an absence of law. It is simply not prohibited. We don't actually have legislation that protects abortion. It's not in our charter. It's not in the Constitution Act. We don't have the Right to Abortion Act Canada. It's just not prohibited. So that's where we are today. It is legal, and access is the primary issue. But I recognize this is now becoming of interest to Canadians as we are watching developments happen in the United States. So for that reason, I will continue filming more videos to provide updates and commentary on what's happening in the US, and providing more education about what the state of abortion law is in Canada. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.